Welcome. This is a video that will help you walk through the SOAR secondary application process. This is for application to come to JPII in September. And so this will be a step-by-step guide that will help you work through the process. The first part that we want to be very, very clear about is our timeline. This timeline's here. We're giving it to you on paper so that you're very aware of all the timelines, but I wanted to put it up there. But also a few important ones. October 15th is when this application opens at secsoar.tcdsb.org. It's only open for 2 weeks for you to make the application at this time. Anything after that, you'll go on the waiting list. So you have to make sure you get this in right away. IB offers, so for those applying to specialty programs, and for us it's the IB, those offers will go out on November 21st. If you're just applying for the regular program, don't worry, you're not going to hear until January 9th. So Wave 1 is our specialty programs, and Wave 2 as well. So you'll get it on the November 21st is when you'll start to hear, and this is in that window between November 21st and December 3rd. We want to try to get all of our IB applications in, or our acceptances that come out, and it'll be an email that's sent, you'll see in a second. And then January 9th is when all the other ones will come. Okay, so it's important that we know that. Then as we're moving forward, you will go and create a SOAR account. Now you have to do this, and it's a step-by-step process. If you're a student, if your child is a student in a TCDSB elementary school, you will have to use the email address that they have on file. So you should check with your elementary school to see if they have the right email and what email they have. If you're a non-TCDSB student, then you will just have to create, but you will put an email, make sure it's an email that you actually use and that you actually check, because all communication will be done through this, okay? So make sure you do that. Record your password, put it somewhere that you can access, because you can fill out this application. You don't have to do it all at once. You can do it as you're going, but you want to make sure you know this information. When you do set up an account, it will send you immediately a verification. This is for security purposes. This is a 2-step authentication. So this way you enter an email address and then you have to go to that email and verify your account. And you can do that here. You'll get an email that'll look like this and it will verify. So make sure that you have access to that email address right away. If you're a TCDSB student, all of the student information will be already there. Okay, it'll be there, but it's important to check it. So if your child is in the TCDSB elementary school, check all that information. You can't change it here. You have to go to your elementary school and get it changed. So if your address is changed, or if there's a whatever, they have to change it for you. You want to make sure it's accurate, because this is the information that we will get to the high school, and it's the only stuff that we have to contact you. So you need to make sure that's right. If you are a non-TCDSB student, you have to fill all of this in yourself. So make sure you have everything on at your fingertips, all the information that you need. And then you get into what you want to do. So the first thing will be a grade, and for everybody for this video, it will be grade 9. You're going to apply to the grade 9. You want to check which you'll take most courses. So not all of them, but most. If it's IB, you're going to put academic, because that's the level that you're at. So we want to make sure it's most. We encourage you to check both. You want to apply to the regular program and to the International Baccalaureate. Doesn't mean at the same school necessarily. You'll see the difference. But we suggest that you put both, just so that you cover all of your bases, okay? So you're going to click, check the regular program, and then International Baccalaureate is the one that we have here at JPII. So for the regular program, the first thing they'll say, this is your home school. Now, if you attend the school that you should be, meaning the elementary school that's closest to you within the TCDSB, then it'll put that up there. If you don't attend a school in the TCDSB, it'll say this is the closest school to where you live, your address. And that'll be basis. It's saying that's your home school. You can choose either one of those as your home school. Like, so this child, this one says they attend a different school. You can use either one. And now it's going to ask you to pick what high school you're applying to. It'll give you the distance. We suggest that you go to the closest school, only because in the TCDSB, our high school's applications are based on distance from a school. So if there's too many applicants, we have to look at that geography and say, okay, we're only going to fill up our school with those people who are closest. And that's how it works. So it's suggested you can pick any of them, but it's suggested that you pick the one closest to you. And then there is a sibling rule. And the sibling rule says that if you have a sibling at that school who will be attending there in the new year, I know it says September 2019. This is just an old screen grab. So it's be September 2020, obviously. If you have a child who's attending in September 2020 to that school, it says Senator O'Connor. It'll say, this is just a generic thing, but it'll say St. John Paul II. You want to make sure it's only there. They have to be there. Your child will be able to go if they have a sibling that is attending there the following year. So just follow that along. And then this is your second choice. So this is a redirection. And you want to make sure that you're putting one here, because if a school is filled up, then they will go to the redirect and they'll redirect you to another school. Again, you're going to choose, if I can't get into A, what is B? Basically what they're saying. So now we're going to apply to the IB program. And before you clicked, I want to apply to a specialty program IB, up will come this screen or these screens, and it'll be a choice. For this, you're obviously going to select St. John Paul II. And then you're going to show off a bit. And this is where you're going to work with your child. And I would suggest that you have this stuff written up ahead of time and in a Word document that you can just copy and paste into here. Spend your time working on it on a different screen, on a different application, and then come over here. There's activities that you've participated in the last 2 years. Now, this would be things outside of school, volunteering clubs, part-time jobs, those sorts of things, parish groups. Put all that stuff in there. We want to know about your child. Awards that they may have won, whether they be in school or out of school. And then this last science activity is school stuff. So things that they've participated in school. This is community involvement, any of the awards that they may have had, and then school activities. Again, my suggestion is prepare this in a Word document and then copy and paste it in here. This is particularly the case for the persuasive essay. This has to be written by your child. This is not yours to do. Has to be written by your child. And they are to do a little bit of research, so they can click on that learner profile, and you can just search up IB learner profile and it'll come up. But it's looking for what makes you a suitable candidate for the IB program. Refer to specifically 3 attributes that best fit and provide examples of those. So you'll see it, you'll go through it. You have to do a paper there. We're talking about 250 to 400, 500 words. Not too long, but we want to make sure it's thorough. So I would, again, highly suggest that you do this in Word, make it nice and polished, and copy and paste it in. Re-look at it here to make sure it's what you want, and submit it. This is a very important part of your process. This is other application documents. Now, this is important. If you are a TC-DSB student, this stuff will already be here. What you have to do is you have to check this box. That gives us the consent. It's a privacy issue. We can't see this unless you give us that permission. So you have to make sure you check that box. This is EQAO, your grade 7 CAT scores, your term 1 and your term 2 report cards. For those who are not TC-DSB students or may not have that information, we need you to upload a scanned copy of these things. So this is going to take some time. It's going to take some work on your part. So you go to your elementary school and say, I want if they've done a CAT score. I don't know if they've done a CAT test. Some schools have, some schools have not. Or a WISC score or other standardized test results. So any of those things that you can find in your elementary school, get those, upload them. Your grade 6 EQAO report, you should have gotten a copy of that. If you didn't, you can get that from your elementary school. And definitely your grade 7 final report card. You won't have a grade 8 report card by the time you are to do this application, but you definitely will have your grade 7. Those you need to scan those and upload them. Okay, if you have trouble with that, you should be looking. You can go to your public library to get a scanned copy. You can look to your elementary school for that, and there'll be some other opportunities that we'll have for that as well. So you want to make sure you get those things in there and uploaded and sent in. They're very, very important. Again, if you're in the TC-DSB, they're going to send them to us as long as you check mark that. If you're not, you have to do these stages. This will compromise your application if you don't have those. If you are in the TC-DSB, this will automatically be populated to your principal. Now, your principal is there has to be a reference done. Your principals will be informed that they are to forward this to the appropriate teacher, whether that's your grade 7 teacher or whoever it is. You may want to tell them who that is. That's up to you how you deal with that. But it'll be automatically in there for your principal. So if you're new to the school or if you have some issue, you might want to contact that principal to make sure they know. If you're not from a TC-DSB school, you have to get the email of the person who is going to be that professional reference, and that is someone who knows them from school. So that's a teacher or the principal of your school. So again, before you sit down to do the application, you need to know the email address, the name, the first name, the last name, and the email address of that person that is doing your reference. So again, a little bit of homework before you sit down and do this application. All the contact and personal information will be there. You should go through that if you're from a TCDSB. Those are the next screens. If you're non-TCDSB, you have to sit there and you have to do it. There's a few screens of it. Make sure it's accurate. Take the time to do it properly, okay? And then this is really, really important. Again, you need to say, yes, I want to share all of my previous or my personal information with the school. This is, again, a confidentiality issue. It's a legal confidentiality issue. You have to click yes, okay? Please do that. And then that's any other documents that might be there as well. So an OSR and those sorts of things that have to come to us, we need that, okay. So make sure you do that. Please, please, please. Really hugely important. You'll get a warning if you don't. Now, after you submit your application, you will get an email that basically will give you a summary of everything you did. How many programs you requested, what your redirect was, all those sorts of things. So if you applied to us and you applied to other schools or other specialty programs, you'll get the whole thing. Make sure that's accurate. If not, then you can go back and fix it or call the board to find out that information. Again, you can go back and unlock it. So it's best if you do it before the deadline, obviously, so that if you see something that's wrong, you can go back into SOAR and you can see all of your applications. You can look here, and this student, for instance, applied to the AP program at O'Connor and our IB program. And this is just obviously a test because they applied to literally everything all over the city. But you can go in and unlock that and then fix it. Again, you will get an email every time that you unlock it. And if you get an email and you didn't unlock it, you should let someone know, because there's been some tampering with your account, or more likely than not, there's a technical issue that you have to get remedied. So again, you can go back after you submit, but to unlock it. And that's why that verification is so important. Then you will get an email, like we said, on those dates that we mentioned before. And the first wave goes out November 20th is when you will get, November 21st will be the date that that they go out for the IB program. And this will come up. And then you will go in and click here, and that will be where you accept or decline an offer. Okay, it's really important. And now those are the dates, November 21st and November 28th. Those are the two waves that we have. You have 5 days to respond. So on November 21st, if you do not respond in those first first week, then I go to the next list and accept other people, because we need to fill up our program. Okay. The board is saying that the offer is sent by 10 p.m. on November 21st. You have to respond by 11:59 on November 26th, and that's how that works. You'll get this email, so be checking your email, okay? It's not going to be a phone call. It's not going to be a package that comes in the mail. It's going to be an email, so you got to check that email. Click that embedded link, and then go to the place that will walk you through the steps to accept our offer. As soon as you accept an offer, your name will be taken off of everybody else's list, so no one else will see you again. So you got to make sure you're accepting the right one. We think the right one is the IB program. If you need some help with it, we will be offering a session on Wednesday, October 23rd from 6 to 8:30 p.m. This will be at the school. Now, this is only really for people who need assistance with the computer work. Try it yourself first. Go in there first. Get your information. Have everything ready. Try it because we only have a certain number of resources. We only have a certain number of people who will be here to help. But if you're really struggling, we can help with that as well. You need to remember to bring a few things. If you're from the TCDSB elementary school, and that will be a pink sheet that we have, bring the information. You need to make sure that you've checked all your emails on file, that you do that ahead of time, because you won't be able to even start the process. This is why we say start. Don't come to us the first time, because if you have a problem with your email, it's a non-starter and you have to go to the elementary school anyway. So make sure you can get in. Make sure you have all the info about your child's application and accomplishments. So all that stuff. My suggestion is that you, again, do that on a Word file. And that's for your community involvement, any awards, any school stuff, and their essay on the learner profile. I would suggest you do that in a Word file and have it on a USB stick that you bring with you, that you can access and then dump it in there. That entrance paper, that's the persuasive essay, and that you're aware of any alternate choices. Make sure you have all that information so that when we're there, it's just through the process. It's not a time to make decisions on the night of the 23rd. This is just if you've already tried and you're having some issues. If you're coming from a non-TCDSB elementary school, and there will be a yellow sheet that has all of the information that you need, you have the email address of the person who's offering a reference for your child. That's really important. You have all the necessary documents, report cards, EQAL, and that has to be scanned, and it's an electronic file that's on your USB stick. All the relevant personal information and contact information that you have, and all from the list of the TCDSB students. So you have to have all this stuff plus the other stuff. So make sure that you have those things when you come. Again, I want to reiterate, Wednesday, October 23rd, from 6 to 8:30 p.m. is only if you've already tried. You should not be trying to sign up and start your application that night, because if there's a problem with the email, it will be a non-starter. So you make sure you go in, try your best. If there is an issue, come and check with us. Even if you think you've done it all right and you want to just verify, that's a good night to do it. But again, there's only so many, there's usually somewhere between 350 and 400 applicants. And if everybody shows up that night, then we're going to have a problem. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're doing it properly. Okay. For those accepted to the IB program, we will have an early registration night on January 23rd at 6 p.m. And so there'll be more details that'll come with that. And when you get the acceptance, we'll send you an email ourselves that has all the details on that and what you need to bring. All that will come. But that'll be the night that you can register early for our school. And that's when you select courses, and that's when you buy the gym uniform and all those good things. And that's in January. But those details will come. I just want to get it there. So remember to always do that. Remember that be prepared for the registration process. There's lots of steps. We'll give you documents that gives you all those things that we have, and then you need to have it ready to go. And that if you do need our help, make sure you come. But it's not to start the process. The process has to be started by you. Okay. We thank you for this. We hope that you do choose our school, and we look forward to you becoming a Panther in September of 2020. Thanks so much.